Good morning, Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, and the rest of the world. You've tuned in to the Max City Morning Show. I am your host, Elliot Pierre, and we're going to start the show off the same way we start every episode off, with a moment of gratitude. I know you could be doing a million other things with your time, and the fact that you spend it with us truly does mean the world to me, so thank you. On that note, Tanner, hit him with the intro.
How's she cotton, me loves? You're listening to the Max City Morning Show.
All right, and we're back at home. If you heard some jingling, some noise, Tanner just gave me the stink eye. I moved and touched the mic. Tanner, I'm sorry.
I think you didn't think that people could hear it while the intro was going.
I didn't.
Yeah, no, they definitely heard all of that movement on your mic was heard. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Well, at home, sorry about that. That's too funny. Okay, everybody at home, I'm excited about my guest today. It's a complete stranger, and those are my favorite type of episodes. So, as you know, I don't introduce my guests. I let them do that themselves. So on that note, can you please tell everybody at home who you are and what you're about?
I'm Lisa Miller. I'm the Regional Jumpstart Chair for Fort McMurray and Wood Buffalo, and I'm with Canadian Tire here in Fort McMurray.
There we go. Very cool. So that's why we're wearing these red T-shirts. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. So can you please tell me all about what Jumpstart is about? Because I really don't have an idea. And at first, when we were messaging for you to come on, my head initially went to like jump rope. And I was like, whoa, that's a different type of program completely once I read the title. So what's Jumpstart all about?
Well, Jumpstart is the national charity that Canadian Tire supports.
Okay.
And because of that, Canadian Tire pays 100% of the administration fees. So it's great because the money that we raise here in Fort McMurray stays in Fort McMurray 100%. So there's no administration fees that go outside of this community as a result of like some charities.
Yeah.
So Jumpstart, in a nutshell, actually supports organizations and families and children who need financial support to get active in sports and recreation.
Oh, cool.
So if a family is, typically a low-income family, perhaps, they can apply for individual child grants and receive up to $300 per seasonal sport.
Okay.
A maximum of $600 a year.
Okay.
And every family can apply for every child they have.
That's
so
awesome.
It's not just per family; it's per child.
Right.
And then organizationally, last year we had the $12 million Sport Relief Fund, and Canadian Tire went across the country and put $12 million into as many communities as they could to help support the infrastructure of some of the sporting organizations that were suffering from COVID.
Okay.
So, because of closures and problems with lack of enrollment and lack of fundraising and all those things. So in order to help some organizations stay open, Canadian Tire provided some operational support as well as programming support. So again, COVID kind of forced a lot of organizations to go online and try and deliver some of their programming online.
That's right.
So they had to pivot, in some cases quite quickly to do that.
Right.
And of course, costs were involved in that, and sometimes they needed some advice on how to do that. So they could apply to Jumpstart and basically receive some grant funding to help keep their doors open or help deliver programming.
Very cool. So now with this program in particular, like what's the event? Is it a virtual? Is it an in-person? How can the general public help support this this fundraiser that you have going on right now?
Well, starting Saturday.
Okay. This Saturday?
This Saturday.
Okay.
January 29th.
Okay.
We are kicking off our 2-week event.
Okay.
With our 2-week event's called Champion a Child. So it's on the back of our T-shirts.
Right.
And it is, we're kicking it off at Earl's with a pancake breakfast.
Okay.
So that's free for families, and we have free face painting. And then...
And if you're not a family, you're just like a single person looking for some pancakes.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Absolutely.
Tanner, you're in luck.
I'm just, hey, man.
Listen, I would have adopted you.
I can eat for a family if you need me to.
Anybody and everybody's welcome.
Okay,
obviously.
very cool.
So over the 2 weeks at Earl's, if you come and dine at Earl's, we hope you'll support Jumpstart through purchasing a balloon. So we have Jumpstart balloons there. We'll be filling Earl's with Jumpstart balloons, and for $20, you can pop a balloon and win instant prizes.
Okay.
We're also selling bouquets of balloons. And that's actually the better deal. It's 5 balloons for $75.
Okay.
And every balloon's a winner. It's kind of like roll up the rim.
Okay.
And we have some great prizes, like prizes that are up to $1,000 in these balloons.
Oh, wow.
So we've got a lot of community businesses, so thankful, so generous to support our event that have provided the prizing. And we also have a grand prize draw on February 14th.
Okay.
So the event wraps up Valentine's Day at Earl's, and at 10 p.m. on February 14th,
okay,
we'll do a grand prize draw for a trip to Mexico.
Okay. I was going to ask, what's the grand prize? Okay.
Yeah, so that's actually in the form of a travel voucher,
right,
so you can actually choose anywhere you want to go.
I'll go to Mexico.
And so
very cool.
So what's we obviously really hope that people will come and support it by purchasing a balloon.
Of course.
Every balloon also gets a ballot for the grand prize.
Okay.
So $20 buys you a balloon. You win an instant prize right then and there when you pop it, as well as getting a ballot to go into the grand prize draw.
Right. And if you buy 5 balloons, $75, and all of those balloons have ballots to go into the draw, so you up your chances of winning. 5
ballots, 5 prizes.
Okay. Very cool.
So, we're kind of thinking it's a great idea for Valentine's Day, like Sweetheart Bouquet.
There we go.
So
okay.
Instead of roses or whatever you might typically give your little sweetie, that maybe you want to buy a bouquet of red balloons from Jumpstart.
There we go.
And do a great cause to the community.
That's
as well.
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Very cool. Okay, so go down to Earl's. That's how you can support it. Now, if you're a family in town who actually needs the funding, how can they find the application to fill out for some help?
That's easy. You just go online.
Okay.
Everything's done online through jumpstart.canadiantire.ca.
Okay.
And there's a website that will direct you through the application process.
Okay.
That process actually gets vetted locally through, regionally through Alberta. We have an independent committee of sports experts and people that have volunteered their time to review each application and allocate the funding accordingly.
Do you find in this community that it's actually, because my thing is there's so many things out there that people just don't know about until you know about it, right? Do you find that the funds are people know about it and have been using them over the years here in Fort McMurray?
Well, actually, since I've been in Fort McMurray, which has only been 2.5 years, I actually found that my first mission here was to try and educate the community and be more out there to spread the word, because I found that a lot of organizations and families did not know about available funding. And so unfortunately COVID has really
huge impact,
put a dent in my ability to get in front of people and help spread the word. But there's been other ways with trying to connect with some of the organizations locally and even some of the schools. Last year we were able to fund a couple programs in some local schools.
Okay.
And
good.
So most people are surprised at what Jumpstart does.
Right.
Actually, they often confuse it with kids sport, which is very different.
That is, yes.
And although similar mission, similar
same wheelhouse.
Goals in our community. But I say to people, Jumpstart is just another resource, another pot of money, really, that you're likely to have access to if you qualify.
That's right. Yeah. Very cool.
And we've got some great examples in the community already last year that we supported.
Yeah.
The organizations that are trying to deliver programming.
Great. Yeah, I think that's like what you said. There's so many different organizations that are trying to do good, and sometimes you just don't know. And so, yeah, I'm glad that you came on the show.
Don't know what you don't know.
That's right. That's exactly it. So we were talking a little bit about Canadian Tire before, and it's one of your. There's 2 locations in town for Canadian Tire. You have the main store, but then down the way just a little bit, there's the outdoor store.
Yes.
And as Tanner kind of pointed out, I'm not the biggest outdoors guy in the world. However, as he laughs, that store is super cool. How the setup is, the marketing of where you've placed things. It has a very cool vintage kind of small town look to it. Mm-hmm. How did that come up in regards to the two different locations and how you decided to put certain products there versus the main store?
Well, all of those decisions were made before we arrived in Fort McMurray and have this current store.
Yeah.
The outdoor store was essentially a decision made because we didn't have enough square footage in the main store.
Okay.
So to be able to offer more product to a growing community,
Right.
that the outdoor store was created to handle all of the outdoor products that we know people in Fort McMurray love to buy.
That's right.
So
That's
whether
right.
that's marine or sport or hunting, fishing, ice fishing, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And so when actually the store flooded, both stores flooded, as you know, back in April of 2021.
Yes.
2020?
21? I don't know. With COVID, I lost track of the years.
Me too.
Yeah.
They're slipping by. We did want to restore it to its, original look and decor.
Yeah.
And of course, we actually had to do preservation work on Murray the bear.
Right.
Because Murray the bear got wet.
Yeah.
And so we had him restored as well, because he's certainly an icon in the store and
That's right.
Greets everybody that
That's
comes
right.
in. And so that's how it happened.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, it's a sweet store. And if you're out there, anybody looking for disposable coolers, that's where to go, because you could waste your time going everywhere else, and they may or may not have it. But I can assure you, if you go to the Canadian Tire outdoor store, disposable coolers, really easy to find.
That's good to know.
Yeah, just if you didn't know, now you know. All right, Tanner just gave me the signal. He has his questions ready for his segment called the Mac City Minute. So he's going to ask you some questions. I don't know what he's going to ask you. I wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Let's hope
Tanner,
I can answer them.
hit it with the Mac City Minute.
Alrighty, question number 1. What is your favorite part of being part of a charity that helps communities grow?
I love seeing the impact it's had on the children's faces.
Question number 2. What is your favorite event you've taken part in with Jumpstart?
That would be in our former location, where we lived before, which was Yorkton, Saskatchewan. We did enough fundraising in Yorkton, Saskatchewan, where we actually were awarded a $20,000 prize from Jumpstart Charities. And we put that money back into the community by having a girls' active in sport day.
Okay.
And so we organized in conjunction with the local schools in that region, that area. We invited grade 6 girls from 12 schools, and we had over 300 kids come to a big rec center, kind of like Mac Island Park.
Okay.
And they got a chance to rotate between 7 stations and try a different sport. And so some of these girls who had never, picked up a volleyball before, or, we had Indigenous dance, and we had wheelchair curling.
Oh, neat.
So it really, it was an opportunity that a lot of these kids would never have had. And, and anyways, it was just a fantastic event, and it felt just fantastic to see the impact that had on so many smiling kids that day.
Yeah.
And we had some guest Olympic athletes there as well. And so it was meant to be an inspirational day and a chance for kids to try to be active in sport, and hopefully go home and say, hey, Mom and Dad, I really loved volleyball. Can I participate in volleyball or baseball or hockey or whatever we did that day? So that's probably my favorite event.
Very cool.
Question number 3. What is something you've noticed about the Fort McMurray's community that other communities don't have?
I would have to say the generosity that I've seen in this community. It doesn't matter whether it's for Jumpstart or other charities and or just people in need. It's certainly a very tight-knit community, and people are very generous with their time and their support.
Question number 4. What is something that Fort McMurray has taught you about owning a business?
That's a good one.
Yeah, Tanner stumps people.
Yeah. Well, again, I think the flood experience really taught me that Fort McMurray loves their Canadian Tire, and the support, again, that the community showed us in the 6 months we were closed, and how excited they were to come back and support us once we were open again was, again, it just really showed me or us how connected Canadian Tire is in this community.
Yeah.
And as well as other communities we've been in.
Right.
And your final question, what is something you've learned about yourself from your time in Fort McMurray?
Another good question. Well, I would say, again, our timing was not great. I've been here 2.5 years, and first COVID hit, which shut down a lot, and then the flood hit, which shut down our store. So it's been really hard to get out and meet people and socialize, and generally that's something I love to do.
Yeah.
So, however, I have found ways to get out there and try and spread the word about Jumpstart and try and get people involved and try and help people in the community as much as I can through Jumpstart funding. So I guess where there's a will, there's a way.
And those have been your 5 questions.
There we go.
Okay,
Very
I
cool.
guess did I pass?
You did.
Yeah, flying colors.
Awesome.
To say people in Fort McMurray love Canadian Tire is an understatement.
It's almost a cult.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
It's crazy. And when you go there, it's always, there's no good time to go to Canadian Tire. But in regards to if you want to get in and out quick, it ain't happening. But what I like about Canadian Tire, my favorite component of going there is the reason it's not quick is because you meet so many people that you know. And so then you end up chatting and then it turns into a conversation, which is a beautiful thing.
The local community center.
That's literally what it is. And I find growing up in Fort McMurray, just based on how we're set up, there's not a lot of walking that goes. We don't have on White Avenue in Edmonton, for example, or Water Street in Newfoundland. You have people who would walk and gather and you'd bump into people. We don't really have that area where you have walking traffic per se, where you have large volumes. And there's 2 places in town that you can go if you want to bump into somebody. Mac Island or Canadian Tire.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, and you're guaranteed a good conversation.
That's great.
Yeah. So, listen, we're wrapping up the show. And I know you have, at the end of all episodes, people get a shameless shout out or plug. I know what you're probably going to shout out and plug, but you got the lights, the cameras, and the mic on you. Have fun.
Well, of course, it's all about Champion a Child. This is our first fundraising event that we've been able to hold because of COVID. We had a much grander plan in place, but again, because of COVID, we decided we're going to go ahead with a scaled down version. So the Pop a Balloon event is something I hope everybody will support. Again, 100% of the funds that we'll raise during this event will stay in Fort McMurray, will help local kids. And I think more than ever, because of COVID, kids really need to get active. They need to get out. They need to work off some of that pent up, frustration and energy and help with some maybe mental health issues that are accumulating because of COVID. So the more we can do through Jumpstart to help get kids back into sport, the better.
There you go. And so that kicks off this Saturday at Earl's.
Exactly. 8 to 12, free pancake breakfast, free face painting, and hopefully you'll like to pop a balloon and win some prizes. We've got some great ones.
Awesome, Tanner. I think we both know where we're going Saturday.
We got some breakfast plans.
There we go.
That's
awesome.
it.
Well, listen, thank you for coming on the show. I really do appreciate it. Please feel free to come back again and again and again. And I truly do mean that. And I tell everybody it, but it is the truth. And some people take me up on it. But if there's anything else that you're doing in the community for Jumpstart, or you want to get a message out that something's taking place at Canadian Tire, please come back again and again.
Everybody can follow us on Facebook to get more information. Follow Earl's on Facebook.
Okay.
I do want to mention our sponsors, if I may.
Yeah, definitely.
So we've had the generosity of Coldwell Banker, Fort McMurray, donate the grand prize, which is the trip to Mexico. The Lore Group, which is also Coldwell Banker, Fort McMurray, they're one of our main sponsors.
Okay.
And Earl's, of course, and Canadian Tire. So the 3 main sponsors and our 3 Facebook pages. If anybody wants more information, we're posting regularly to get some information out there over the 2 weeks.
There we go. That's awesome. Good job, sponsors. Okay, well, everybody at home, that's the end of another episode of the Mac City Morning Show. Thank you very much for tuning in. I do really appreciate it. It means the world to me. I hope you're having a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
I said this. That's another Mac City Morning Show done.
Talk about quenching your ugly thirst.